Hello, good morning. I think that we can start with our webinar. It's already 8:30. Welcome everybody to our webinar. I'm very glad that you have decided to spend these 60 minutes in early morning today with us. My name is Karolina Kluczykowska and I'm account executive at Cloudity, responsible for the DACH region. Today with me is also our data expert, Mateusz, who will be leading the practical part of the webinar. Mateusz, could you please introduce yourself to our attendees?
Hello, my name is Mateusz Gemra, and I will be happy to tell you something about analytics. I am responsible for our analytics practice at Cloudity. And I'm happy to spend the morning with you.
Great, thank you, Mateusz, for the introduction. And let's go shortly to the agenda of our meeting today. At the beginning, in the short theoretical part, I will tell you a few words about Cloudity, who we are and how we are working with our customers. I will introduce to you also Tableau, the main capabilities of this great business analytics platform. And then Mateusz will come to the most important part of our meeting, to the demo session of Tableau Futures. And he will, where you will experience the power of Tableau and how Tableau makes your work with data easier. At the end, we'll have time for Q&A session. One technical remark, please note that you have the possibility to ask the questions over the chat in the dashboard during the whole session. We will be glad to answer all questions you might have at the end of the webinar. So please use this possibility and then during the whole session, and then we can come back to all questions at the end of, as mentioned, at the end of webinar. So let's go to the short Cloudity introduction. We are the technological company providing the consulting services and supporting the companies in the digital transformations within the organization. We are the Salesforce Platinum partner and Tableau partner. For those who have never heard about Salesforce, Salesforce is the customer relationship management solution that brings companies and customers together. And Tableau is the youngest product in the Salesforce ecosystem that supports the entire process of visual data analytics from any source. We implemented the solutions that automate the processes in the area as sales, marketing, customer service, a cooperation with partner, and also the data analytics. So it means that we are working in the holistic way when we are talking about the digital transformation. But at this point, I would like to underline that we don't just implement, but we advise on how to do the digital transformation within the company. It's very important for us to understand the customer's needs and maximize the business value achieved by our clients. From 2014, we are growing our business from 2 founders to 130 people working with customers in Europe. We gathered unique and comprehensive experience by accomplishing more than 350 projects in more than 25 countries. That gives us the global experience in many different organizations and different industries. We have locations in 3 countries. The headquarters is in Warsaw, but we have also the office in Berlin and Stockholm, and we cover the Central Europe, the Nordics, and DACH region. Here we have some chosen logos of Cloudity customers, where we delivered services for almost all processes. And I'm pretty sure that many of those logos are well known to you as well. It was a short Cloudity introduction. Let's go smoothly to the Salesforce business and why Tableau belongs to Salesforce. Salesforce gives all your departments a single shared view of every customer. You can see in the circle under the analytics, the Tableau logo. And this is the area that was missing in Salesforce ecosystem. And it's the reason why Salesforce decided to invest in Tableau to have this well-known 360-degree view of customer and his all activities. One of the questions that our customers raise always is, what is the relationship between Salesforce, Tableau, and Cloudity? As I have mentioned, Salesforce is the customer relationship management solution, and Salesforce provides you the access to the system and gives you access to the licenses. Tableau is the youngest part of Salesforce that allows you to visualize, that gives you the possibility for visualization of your data. And you can with Tableau visualize the data from Salesforce. But what is here important that Tableau can also work independently from Salesforce. So you don't have to have access to Salesforce to use Tableau, but if you have the access to both of those solutions, for sure, it will make your work much easier. And what is the role of Cloudity? Cloudity, as mentioned, is the partner of Salesforce and Tableau, and we are responsible for the implementation, customizing the system, and providing the consulting services. But we concentrate today on Tableau. Tableau helps people and organizations become more data-driven. What does it mean? Firstly, Tableau helps to reach more people with analytics that people love to use. Secondly, Tableau helps organizations to scale analytics with integrated platform that meets the needs of even global needs of even the largest global organizations. And thirdly, Tableau helps the customers to manage the change required to becoming a data-driven organization as the trusted leader in analytics. From the beginning, it was very important for Tableau. It was the main goal of Tableau. So the data analytics and data visualization was the main goal of Tableau. The mission of Tableau is we help people to see and understand their data. And it's a very simple mission. What does it mean? As you know, sight is one of the most important senses. We make the decision on the basis what we see. I will present to you the simple example. Let's imagine that you see 3 rows of different numbers and you have to find how many, and you have to say how many of them are 5. If the numbers are not underlined or marked in different colors, it will take some time as you count them and say how many of them you see. And it's the reason why Tableau is using the technology to help you to count the data as you need in the fast way. And as we all know, speed plays today a very huge role. Mateusz, I have the question to you. Is Tableau for everybody or only for data experts as you are?
Well, it's a very good question when talking about Tableau. Tableau is well known as one of the most simple in usage in terms of analytical platforms, and gives the basic non-expert users ability to deal with their data based on the very simple and very user-friendly interface. So no programming knowledge and no advanced database knowledge is needed to just drag and drop data and build visualization on the fly. Basically, But what is even more interesting is that Tableau is as well the go-to platform for data scientists, because it has a lot of advanced features that are not to be used by basic users that are able to build their reports and dashboards with ease, but allows more advanced users to make the best class state-of-art analytics, and that's the key point of Tableau. So it's easy to learn and gives a lot of possibilities when you master it. So basically, yes, it's for everyone. Thanks.
Okay, great. So it's a tool for Summarize. It's a tool for everyone and for the whole business.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Mateusz, for the answer. And I have the second question, but not only to you, Mateusz, but to all of our attendees. The second question is, why are we here today? I think, and for sure, one of the reasons is that you have observed that the data processing in your company doesn't work well, that the processes are too complicated, too inefficient, and too inflexible. How does it look on the daily basis when we have to create the reports or when we have to analyze the data within the company? In the most cases, we have to create the ticket in the system. We have to wait for the information. It lasts few days, sometimes few days, but sometimes few weeks. And this information are not current, and the decision should be made, for example, 1 week before. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that everyone from us has received the task from the manager to prepare some reports. After preparing the reports, we are going to our manager and we receive the further questions. And I don't know the manager who will be satisfied with the given answers. If we come with the Tableau solution, what we'll experience soon, we can answer all questions that our manager may have during the conversation. You don't need to come back to your desk. You don't need to create the ticket and send the ticket to the department that is responsible for the data in your company. And after a few days, as you received the answer, that you can forward to your manager. Mateusz, am I right that the Tableau, that the work with Tableau and creating the reports and analyzing the data is much easier than on the daily basis?
Yes,
as we are doing?
Yes, definitely. Tableau enables you to make a self-service analytics. So you do not need to bother analysts with simple questions. You can go for them by yourself, being a specialist or a manager, and leave more complicated stuff that needs advanced knowledge to people who are dealing with data daily. So, yeah.
Great. It sounds good, and I think that we will experience, as mentioned, that soon in the demo session that you will present to our guests.
Yeah.
Great. And summarized this theoretical part of our webinar, Tableau is the leading business intelligence solution, and Tableau gives us the answer to the key business questions. You can create the reports and dashboards in very, very fast and easy way, and you need for that only few minutes. Tableau is also very user-friendly, and you don't need any special skills. So you don't need, I don't know, coding skills or some kind of info programmer knowledge. You can do it by your own, as mentioned, very, very, very easy. Tableau also combines data from multiple sources, so from any sources that you need, and you can create and configure the dashboards and visualize your data in the way that you need, and that is easy and important for you. Great. I think it was everything what I wanted to share with you during this theoretical part. And now we go to the main part of our webinar, to the demo session of Tableau Futures. But before we go to the demo session, Mateusz, I have the last question to you. Why the data is called nowadays as the new oil? Could you please explain it to me and also to our attendees?
Yeah, I think that our attendees might already have heard about that. But a couple years ago, the famous Economist, the newspaper, have calculated that nowadays data is the more important actually than crude oil, which was for decades was the most important strategic resource. Nowadays, the biggest companies in the world are building the foundation of their power on data, actually. And actually, almost each and every company has some data that they might derive insights from, they might generate new knowledge and use to better serve its customers. But I think that, well, extracting knowledge from data is much more difficult and much more complex than extracting crude oil. If you know how to do it with crude oil, then the technology is there, you've got everything. But in terms of data, there is no right answer. You need to explore, you need to look for hundreds of kinds of solutions, and then you might come to a good insights. And well, the example of Tableau shows how to simplify the process.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for this detailed explanation. And now I will hand over to you the next part of our webinar. And please present the power of Tableau to our attendees.
Okay, great. Yeah, I just need to share my screen.
Yes.
If I could.
Now you can share your screen.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm sharing. Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible. Okay,
great. What we've got here is the first screen that appears when you run Tableau. Well, the first part of working with data is connecting to data, and today we will be using a very simple, not complicated example of chain store that is selling mostly office supplies and technology and furniture worldwide in various countries. And we will be dealing with a classic business intelligence analysis to see which products are underperforming and why, to try to catch new ways of reducing losses on specific products. That's something very general, but well, I think that's worth saying that Tableau is able to deal with any data, and actually anything you've got in your company. If you understand it, if you understand what the data shows, you are able to simplify and to use the power of Tableau. Yeah. So here, just to show you what is the general flow of working with Tableau and with data. We will begin with connecting to a data source. As you can see here, there are a lot of data sources that Tableau can easily connect with and directly work on data from them. But today, to have a rather simple example, we'll focus on just a file which will resemble a database of transactions. So I am opening the Excel file with Tableau. Now my request is being processed, and right in a moment I should have a preview of the data. Yeah, and this preview will surely remind me of a classic spreadsheet. Here I can see how my data looks, how my data sample, what kind of columns do I have, what are the formats. I can even change the basic metadata of the product. So if I think that some of, let's say, row ID is an alphanumerical or a string value, I can change that here. I can do a lot of data preparation tasks on this stage as well. So, for example, pivot some columns or make a calculations that will derive some data from already existing column. But for purpose of our analysis, I will just skip to the next part, which is connecting with multiple tables and multiple data sources. Here I can mix my orders table with the other one, which is in the other sheet of the spreadsheet, which will be data regarding managers in my company. There is always a bit of time for loading for Tableau to load, to extract some data, or it can be live connected to a file. And right now we are processing, and after the first connection, we will be able to use the data with no time for waiting, so only 20 seconds. Right now, Tableau, after connecting two tables, asks me if I want to join them, or not even join them specifically, but I want to logically relate them one to another, and then Tableau will flexibly connect the data from these tables based on what I want to visualize. Here it tells me that the region is a common thing for both tables. So we've got regions in our transaction table and regions in table indicating who is a manager of specific region. Okay, I will stick with that. Tableau is mostly right on that connections, and go to a main screen that you almost always observe when you work with Tableau. So the basic worksheet. Here I've got all my data on the left side, and it's displayed showing me what are the dimensions, so the things that I will mostly compare one to another, like subcategory of product, like segment of clients, and measures, which are in green, and those measures are mostly continuous variables that I am measuring on specific dimensions. So I want to know sum of sales or average profit per product. And by having this data here, I've got full access to what Tableau is connected to. So basically, I will start with drilling down my product hierarchy and looking for unprofitable subcategories. Let's begin with a category. I can just easily drag and drop it here to my work area, and I tell Tableau that I want to see all categories as columns, and then well, after the first query is executed, I will have unlimited and fast access to this data. And then the next step will be to drag all those data pills, let's say so, that's how they called, to a different areas on my screen. So well, the marks area will enable me to show different dimensions and measures color or size, which is a good practice for visual analytics. The city, well, the categories, cities, countries, those dimensions will be dragged on columns and rows to enable me to compare them one to another. And here I've got category. So right now, by seeing category, I can choose what kind of measure I want to show to compare categories one to another. I will pick sum of sales. And as you could see, I've from my base table, I've picked sales as a value, and right now Tableau automatically aggregates my sales to the sum. So I see right now a sum of sales per each category. It works well, a bit like a pivot table in Excel, if you've ever used it. And now I would like to drill down my category with something more specific. So I will put my subcategories to categories and build a hierarchy, which will enable me to always use it as two connected things. So, oh well, I've used country. I will change that, then no problem. So just subcategory and category. And here I say that category is the upper, so is the more that category is higher in the hierarchy, and now I can easily drill down to subcategories. And now you can see, let's sort that by sum of sales, that in various main categories I've got subcategories which are well differentiated by sum of sales. What I can do now to see more more the kind of profit that each subcategory generates, I can use profit as color. That's always a good way to add some additional measure as a color to a chart, if it makes sense for you to drill down to this level of knowledge. And here I can see that there is a one very specific subcategory of products that it's making significant losses to my company, and it's tables. So I will be looking for some explanation why those tables are probably dragging down my profits. And well, I will stick with this report because it's somehow useful for my company. I come to another one to see different data with a different lens, and this time I will try to focus on the order date, which is a time variable. So here I've just dragged order date. I can change it to be displayed month by month. And now I want to see a sum of sales of month by month in my whole company. So I can see that there is a general, in general, that there is a upward trend. And I can add profit to that to see how it's correlated. Okay, so well, generally in time, profit increases when the sales increases, and those, it's nothing really surprising. But let's see it only for those tables which were seemingly a problem in our sales. So I will go to filtering, and I will now only leave tables as the subcategory that is displayed on screen. And I can see a big change. So here, the profit on the as the bottom visualization, and the sales are, well, almost negatively correlated. So when the sales goes up, often the profit goes down. Well, just to see it a bit better, let's use a trend line, which will show me what is a general trend of sales and profit. And I can see here, and now it's even more visible, that my sales increased in recent months, but my losses increased as well. So I've got, I'm in general unprofitable with probably on average with each table that I sell. So it seems that selling tables in this company is in general unprofitable. Each one sold will probably bring more losses, and we will try to look at possible at other possible sources of this problem. So let's now go to another dimension, which will be geography, and see if there are countries that are having successful sales of tables, or is it a general situation that everywhere in the world they generate some losses? To build any visualization in Tableau, we might simply use another very cool feature of this interface. So just tell Tableau what you want to visualize. Let it be country, let it be sum of sales, and let it be profit, just like in the last example. And here just click recommended way of visualizing this data set. So now Tableau tells me that I would probably be happy with a map having diagrams as on each country. And now I can see that that sum of sales became color, sum of profit became size. I think I can switch that to have sum of profit as a color and come back to a sum of sales as a size. And now I can see that there are some unprofitable countries. Let's make those bubbles a bit bigger. Well, and now we see that those orange ones are bringing us losses in terms of table sales. Well, in terms of general sales. Now I can switch to a table only view. So let's make a filter. Well, I can see that in Turkey all sales in general are unprofitable, I could forward that to my manager to tell him that there is a kind of problem in this country. But focusing on sales now, on tables, I can, well, again, make a filter to just display those tables, or filter anything that I would like to see here. And now I can see that there is a problem and have a kind of comparison between how the general sales were looking, mostly blue on the whole map, and how the sales of tables only is performing. And I can see that there are a couple of positive examples like United Kingdom or India, but my big markets like United States, France, Germany, Indonesia are generating big losses here. So even if it's basically a big problem, because when United States is the biggest market for tables and it's the most unprofitable one, then something is probably wrong with the way we are selling them. So having this map somewhere ready for deeper analysis, I will go to well, one of the most powerful charts that you might produce, which is a scatter plot. So building a scatter plot in Tableau is easy. I can just tell what are two measures that I want to use. So I can use sum of sales and sum of profit. And here Tableau shows me the general sum of sales and profit for everything, because Tableau always aggregates data. But if you just drag order ID, so you want to see a specific orders here, and maybe switch sales with profit, so they will be in the more natural way. Yeah, right now I've got profit on vertical axis and sales on horizontal axis. I can see that some of those are unprofitable. Some of my orders are unprofitable, whereas others are generating even a big profits, especially those outliers. So now I can easily well check how does this difference distributes among categories, and I can see that the red one, so technology, is generating most of the positive and negative outliers. But in terms of furniture, yeah, those orders are mostly smaller and not too profitable. So in comparison to office supplies and technology, furniture is probably the less dispersive category. And now I can make a even more advanced filter that will enable me to pick products and product subcategories that I see on my screen. So let's go with this filter of product subcategories. For now, leave all of them and show this filter to enable our users to make changes themselves. So right now it will be shown here. I can make it something more visually appealing, like a drop down. And now I will pick tables only. So by picking tables, I can see that in general there are a lot of unprofitable orders. All below this 0 point are generating negative profits. I can change the way, well, actually, however I want, I can change the way of display. And now I will probably need to see, well, maybe how shipping cost influences the profitability. So I can see that there is, in general, no rule for shipping costs. Well, it's not definitely not the thing sinking my profits, because some very expensive shippings were still profitable for the company. So I can change that to discount, maybe, because maybe I'm discounting too much if there is such a big amount of unprofitable orders. And now I can see that the more blue, the more dark the bubble is, the higher the discount was. And in this case, I see that the light blue orders are in general up here on the positive side of the axis, and those dark blue orders are indicating that I have a possibly too big discounts and they are generating losses. I can change that color to even make it more visible. So here, instead of working with only blue, I can go to orange blue, and I can see that those blue and gray are in general those high discount. Even someone here discounted his table by more than 100%, which is probably some systematic mistake and should be definitely covered. But I can see, and it's here. So this kind of probably mistakes made by salesman, I can review them later and keep them or group or create a set of them that I can use in later analysis. So I will name that well, let's say mistakes. And here I can see that I'm definitely discounting too much on some tables, and I can see those blue bubbles on the on this side. And well, having the map here, I can well make a kind of a cross analytics between the regions and the way we are selling in terms of discounts. So let's use that. We can even add quantity here to as a size to show which one were like a really really big and which one has in average more expensive products. So now I can mix those elements of my analysis to be able to show a more comprehensive image of what is going on in the company. Dashboard is a perfect tool to do that. So let's put all those elements together. Okay, I got sales and profit in time. I've got my map and I've got my orders. And now I can see that everything scaled properly to enable me more visualizing. And now I will use my, as you can see, here is the data related to all the company. Here we got the sales of tables, as well as here and here. And I can use this map to be a filter for other visualizations that I've prepared. So by just one click, use as filter, I can now see how various countries that I pick are dealing with sales. So in general, most of the orders are unprofitable, and most of them are too heavily discounted. But let's look at the example of India and see how they are dealing with that. Yeah, so in India, the main difference, as you can see, India is a country which is generating profit on tables as one of the well, it's a very narrow group of countries that are able to generate profit here, and India is among them. And by clicking at India, I can see how their sales and profit in time looks, and what were the orders for tables in these countries. And I can see all of them, and all orders in India were actually almost all, beside those two, were actually profitable, and all of them were not discounted. As you can see, they are all dark orange, so none of them was discounted. And well, the simple conclusion from that is that well, if you discount too much on tables which have probably a very low margin, then you lose money. I can go to United States, which is possibly a different kind of example. Yeah, and I can see that even if they are not discounting very aggressively, they are still generating losses. But most of their unprofitable orders are discounted a bit too heavily. So yeah, only dark oranges are above the water, I would say. And here even I can see the whole Europe as yeah, by making a making a mark. And I can see that in Europe in general, there are countries that are dragging those profits down. And on this table in the upper left corner, I can see that tables is the only subcategory in Europe that is generating losses, just like in the whole world. So I can always, yeah, by clicking on country, I can say that that the problem is either with only the specific subcategory that we are discussing for the whole time, or even the other ones are not performing well as well. In this case of United States, it's bookcases and supplies. And if I wanted to switch to another product category, yeah, I can come back and just for now remove this filter, and I will filter by my only in my dashboard. So let's see how it works for cross filtering. Okay, go to my dashboard, and now I will use this table as well as a filter. So now I will be able to see a sales of, let's say, cap years, which are pretty profitable probably. In United States, I've got sales in time, I've got my orders. I can see that some of them, when they are discounted, are still generating profit, but much less. But some of them are really making a big satisfying profit on cap years. So now my sales manager is able to make a drill down himself between countries, between products and subcategories, between dates if he wanted to, but here we use dates mostly to observe what is the general long-term trend in the data. And well, if I wanted to enable my colleagues to see that, I can always share it with them to my Tableau server. Yeah, that's or my Tableau online instance. So I can publish this workbook. Yeah, I can create data extract, so my server will keep the data that I've used and keep it updated. Yeah, I can save that now. And right now I will migrate this to Tableau Online, where all my colleagues will be able to see that, annotate and comment, and make a drill down themselves, or even open a new worksheet and make the analysis on this data on their own, seeing what I've left for them. So for example, this so-called mistakes set, yeah, when they see order IDs, I will be able to well, for now I will add all of them as a table, and I can show them which of them were probably the problematic ones. So well, just give a discount here to show that there was a very that there was a very big discount on this one. So yeah, in this order, some of products were heavily discounted. And right now, I can visit my server after publishing this this workbook. Yeah, I need to name that, so let's call it chain store analysis. Okay. And it goes to my Tableau Online instance, where we all cooperate on different analysis in Cloudity, and well, you can use it as well in your company. I will show it to you in a moment how you might share and collaborate on your work, and even work with those directly in your online browser. So here, let me show my web browser. Here you can see that all the views, like a separate reports and all the dashboards, are available for you to observe, and you can make an actionable insights from that by making a subscription, let's say so. So this report will be sent to you let's say so 1 day a week at this time, or even daily. So you daily are just Tableau just sends you the report to remind you about the important dashboard that you should visit being a manager, and then you will go here, so you will be able to drill down by your own. So it's not a static image, and that's not the way that BI should be driven in the organization, but you will be able to pick whatever you want to see. So either all the sales by a specific country, or the global sales of our whole company, so you can see if the business is healthy. And it is always possible to even convert that to a mobile screen. So, well, just to give you a sneak peek of how you might make it more accessible, then you tell Tableau that you want to use it on mobile or tablet, and it will try to make it a mobile view. It's up to you how you arrange that. So let's say that I would be using well, Samsung Galaxy S series. Yeah, that's my actual phone. And now I can see how it will look on my phone. It will probably need some changes. So I can, for example, make the title disappear because I probably don't need it. So let's hide it. Do not steal place on the phone screen. And I can see that on my first, when I open this dashboard, I will probably see these two reports. Yeah, I can even hide this legend, as probably on the phone I will not deep dive into how much is that, but by moving my finger I can see on screen how much were profit and sales of copiers. And by scrolling, I will be able to engage and access other reports and dashboards on my layout. So basically, Tableau brings data closer to you, to your team, to your organization, enables them to make it self-service. Because as you could see, I've spent well, a bit more than around half an hour on building 4 reports, 1 dashboard, 1 mobile screen dashboard, and I've shared it with my colleagues in Cloudity. And well, by spending a half an hour in Excel, I would probably not be able even to start visualizing anything. So that's the main difference between analytical platform that is made to share and collaborate on data and to make data analytics easy, and platform that is, well, not suitable for that. And well, the possibilities are endless because Tableau enables me to mix my data sources. Here I've got a very simple example of how we've merged orders and people. Yeah, here. But I can even mix other data sources, well, like the data warehouse, my Salesforce, my other systems, and all this data will be connected in a kind of a data model that will enable Tableau to derive insights by combining, for example, each manager with orders that this manager were responsible for. The key point of that is that it's very, very easy to learn, and it gives you endless possibility of making those analyses even better and drilling down. And by that, there are insights to uncover that are probably that were probably not to be reached before when you did not use a serious analytical platform that enables you to do all these things and share them with other people in your organization. So what you basically do is having a good foundation of a data culture in an organization where everyone who should have access to a specific data, because you might manage who sees, for example, only United States and who sees the whole world, and you can give those permissions by user. So you basically give access to data, to self-service analytics, and enable your fellow colleagues to discover what is going on in your business with you. Yeah, I think that's for the short demo. That's all. In terms of Tableau, Tableau ecosystem, we've got a special tool for data preparation, which is very visual and enables people to create automated data flows. But it's something that we will be happy to tell you more about maybe in the next session, or maybe on the session on demand if you are interested. And for now, yeah, that's all from my side, and we'll be happy to answer your questions, any of your questions. Thank you very much, and I hope you liked this session.
Thank you, Mateusz, for this detailed presentation of Tableau Power. To summarize, yeah, every company is a data company, every person is a data person, and we are living in the age of data. The result, every company must become more data-driven, not just to compete more effectively, but also to survive, I would say. I think that we can now come to our last part of the webinar, so to the question and answer session. I see that we have already one question from our attendees. Mateusz, I think it's a question to you. Could we integrate Tableau with different ERP systems?
Yes, of course. Tableau is well known for being able to connect to various systems, and Tableau is releasing connectors to well-known and even more let's say less known systems. And here we can see that there are at least a couple of connectors to systems that companies are using. So Salesforce, SAP HANA, or most famous ERP systems should be connectable as well. If there is no connector to some very specific system, then partners help with creating other database connector, which can connect directly to a system, and after a couple of tasks to map the data, enables Tableau to connect with ease. So yeah, basically the answer is yes, and and it probably will be easy for most well-known and used systems.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yes, we have 7 minutes left. So if you have any other questions, you can ask them over the chat, and please use this possibility. If not, we will end the meeting earlier. But I think it's a good chance to ask any questions you might have. If there are no further questions, I would like to thank you at this point for your time, for your participation in this webinar. I hope it was very helpful for you, and that you now have a better visibility and overview about Tableau futures, about Tableau capabilities of this great business analytics platform. I have one request at the end of this webinar to you. We will send after the webinar a short satisfaction survey to all of our attendees. I would appreciate if you could spend 1 or 2 minutes to fill it out. It will be very helpful for us to receive the feedback from you. So thank you very much in advance. Thank you one more time for your time, for your participation. Please follow us on our LinkedIn, and there you will find more information about our coming webinars. So thank you one more time, and have a good day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.